The Barack stabber is back after tossing Biden out like moldy cheese. The O's are set to take the DNC stage tonight to crown Kamala as the queen of the Dems. Harris is hoping to capture some of Barry O's 2008 campaign magic. The artist behind the iconic Hope Obama poster creating similar artwork for her presidential bid. Look at that. Kamala has also been rocking an Obama-esque tan suit. Delightful. And the media is getting a thrill up their leg.
The people in this room had a great time last night.
Exuberance, joy. I've not seen so many Democrats laugh, smile, sing.
This was a legitimate moment of catharsis and love.
All of us saying we can really do this. We're coming out of this darkness that Donald Trump has put us in.
I think back to the Republican convention and just how much there was a lot of spiking the football.
In two Republican candidates, they're always looking for retribution. They're looking for people to blame.
Everything here is relief and excitement.
You know, Dana, I listen to that and I think how horrible it must be those people. That the joy in their life or the horror in their life is based on how they feel about other people. You know, Joe and Mika, they have been miserable for months, and now they're happy. And it's all based on some kind of external stimulus known as Trump or Kamala. Is that kind of sad?
No, but it's almost as if there was a splinter in the foot of the Democratic Party, and every time they took a step during Biden's presidency thinking that he was going to be their nominee and having spent 14 million votes on it, that they were like, oh, this is so annoying. And honestly, if Joe Biden was the nominee and gave that speech last night, I think the room would have been half empty. Mm-hmm. So when Al Sharpton says that they took us out of the darkness that Trump put us in, like, no, the darkness was that the problem for the Democrats was that their nominee was the president, Joe Biden, who could not, it became clear to everybody, apparently including to at least Nancy Pelosi and then maybe to himself, that he was not able to serve for another 4 years. And they were not willing to sacrifice the party. So the reason that all of these people feel joyful is because they got rid of the one guy that 8 weeks ago they told you was perfectly fine and capable to be president for the next 4 years.
Mm-hmm. All right, Harold, good to see you. You're looking dapper as always. Isn't the strategy here what you would call star power transference? Bring the star power into the room through the Obamas and hope there's some tangential star power for Harris. I would do the same thing. They often use me like that here at the Five.
I mean, that's what when Jamie Harrison, the chair of the party, called and asked for an analogy about this, I used this analogy with you and the Five. I said, you said something at the outset of the last segment about how a vast majority of Americans are being introduced to the Democrats speaking here, and even the notion and the reality of Kamala Harris as our candidate nominee. I think you're right. And the reason tonight is so critical is really because of that frame, Greg, because America knows Barack Obama. They know Michelle Obama. Many people believe that Michelle Obama would be as viable a candidate for Democrats to run for president as anyone. So for her and the president to stand before this convention hall, and Dana said it well a few minutes ago, the convention hall last night, no one left. People listened. They clapped. They responded at the right time. So when you have the proverbial leader of our party, President Obama, speaking this evening, and the audience watching on television, this is, I think, the second most critical speech of the convention is tonight. And after last night, the mishap with how the stage crap was managed in terms of the President Biden coming out later, President Obama has an opportunity to reset this whole thing for Democrats and remind us, and the country, and remind us that this election is about who is best prepared, who is best equipped, and who is best able to deliver for the middle class. So I'm going to be listening closely to his speech and to First Lady Obama's speech this evening, because, again, I think this is the second most critical night of our convention.
You know, Judge, Harold makes a great point. With Obama taking the stage tonight, it's good that we're going to be hearing from the real president.
Well, I got to tell you, you know, the Democrats being so sad and so dark and so dreary over the last 8 years. I mean, it doesn't, I mean, I don't know if they realize that the last 8 years include the last 3.5 years of Biden-Harris. But in any event, tonight, Obama comes on. And you know what? I'll bet the applause will be raucous, but I will bet my house that there's no way they're going to delay Barack Obama's speech the way they delayed Joe Biden's speech into the, you know, the late night hours, even though the people coming in tonight are going to be a lot more popular. Look, last night was Joe Biden and Hillary, not very popular. Tonight, Obama and Bill Clinton. And, of course, tomorrow night or Thursday night is going to be the new Obama. And the truth is that we find out now that even though Obama made that statement right after, you know, Joe said he wasn't going to run, that he wasn't convinced that Kamala could run and win. And then all of a sudden there was this fake phone call, or this phone call, I take it back, it's not a fake call, a phone call that Michelle and Barack are so happy that Kamala is going to run and she's going to be their candidate. The truth is that Barack has been speaking to Kamala consistently since 2020, and apparently over the last few months, they have been in close contact in any way that he can. So you're going to see Barack Obama try to turn Kamala Harris into the new, you know, Kamala Obama. Whether it's the joy in substituting for hope, whether it's the posters looking very much the same, and, you know, the positivity, no matter how Michelle may feel about it. But, you know, I don't think that there's any way that this is a situation where, you know, Obama isn't in charge along with his aides as opposed to Biden's aide on this campaign.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.